Hey folks, so the other film that I watched this weekend was Chhapaak. Chhapaak in English means splash. It's a movie on the acid attack victim Laxmi Agarwal. Meghna Gulzar has directed it and Deepika and Meghna have produced it. So this is Deepika's first production venture, and I think that she does a great job portraying the main character or the protagonist. I think this topic is to be dealt with quite a bit of sensitivity, and I think Meghna makes sure that it is. I think everything is done really well. The movie is extremely hard to take in some places because there are quite a few graphics that show, such themes, and you I think it's important to incorporate those so that one can really understand what goes on, because I think a lot of us, who may not be familiar with the topic of acid attack, what is it, what happens as a consequence, right? What happens in the surgeries after the reconstructive piece, right? So there's a lot of unknowns, and I think they do a great job kind of and making sure all of that is covered. And Deepika, I think she acts really well. I do have to say, like, the nuanced acting is something that I enjoyed in the film. So I think, like, it's such an important topic. I'm so glad it was written, and I'm so glad it was directed and put into a film. I really love that she has a romantic interest who heads the NGO Chhapaak, which is, advocating for these acid attack victims. And I think it's important to show that, there is sort of a group that's trying to help, and the interest makes, I know there's like a little bit of banter that goes on between them, but it almost makes, like, there's always this piece where she feels whole around him. And I think that's so important to portray people as full human beings despite, like, what they've gone through, right? And really, like, beauty exists, beauty is truly in the eye of the beholder, right? And she's such a beautiful person and so upbeat, and she goes to court, years after years to make sure that, they are putting into action, in the Constitution, that, the sale of, acids in the market is regulated, right? And you see her advocating constantly, right? Going beyond her own case, right? So really goes to show that you gotta fight. And so it was good. It was good in that regard. I'm glad I watched it, and I'm glad it was made into a beautiful film. Thanks all.